We're here, we're live, and we're late, but that's all right because we got lots to talk about tonight. I mean, we have tariffs and Trump's winning, Canada and Mexico backing down, planes are crashing, lots of people asking questions. Of course, the Grammys was a nightmare, but did anybody expect anything else? And of course, supposedly Mexicans are protesting. I'm not really sure that those are Mexicans protesting, and all of that is coming up tonight on David Pollack Show.
Americans are feeling the squeeze, struggling with the cost of everything from gas.
How do you feel about the economy? Raising interest rates.
Iran's most intense strike ever against Israel.
Get up, puppet.
What, Dave? What?
We got work to do.
Puppet Carlson reporting for duty. I'm driving, Dave.
You're not driving.
I am driving, Dave. I'm in the Cybertruck.
Come on.
I'm going to regret this.
All right, I don't know about this. Are you sure you want to try to drive?
Dave, Elon made this sucker to drive itself.
All right.
Let's boogie! I got this, man.
Can you even reach the pedals?
Sit down and cool it.
Puppet, pick a lane.
Chill out, Dave. I'm a non-binary driver.
Let's get to work.
Wait up, Dave. I'm the star of this show.
Man, oh man, oh man, am I having a night. Welcome to the Dave Pollack Show featuring my patriotic pal, Puppet, who's not here. It's just going to be one of those nights. I don't know what's going on with this Monday. I think because I was up late watching the Grammys, not because I was enjoying it, but because I had to do the research for you guys. Apparently I didn't put a title for this show. So if you're watching it on YouTube or on any other platform, it's just going to say the David Pollack Show with no title. But hey, you're here and you found it anyway. That's the kind of Monday it is. But today is a very special Monday because we have lots of things to celebrate. First of all, we are celebrating the very early tariff win with Donald Trump putting 25% tariffs on both Mexico and Canada. Everybody freaking out, talking about how it's going to destroy the economy and it's all over. Oh my gosh, Trump is so bad. And it turns out that Mexico already gave into the demand. So did Canada. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later with our panel. Then, of course, we're deporting record numbers of people. Criminal aliens are being deported. Now, of course, the media is telling Trump, these people aren't all criminals. You said they would be criminals. Hey, newsflash. If somebody enters the country illegally, guess what that makes them? It makes them a criminal. So they are criminals and are being deported. And that's really good. And we're going to talk about that. But, of course, now there's protests. And who's protesting? You know who's protesting? The same people who've been protesting. It's amazing how these same people, whether it's Free Palestine, whether it's trans rights, gay rights, pro-women, anti-Trump, whatever they're protesting, anti-Kavanaugh, anti-this, pro-that, they're all the same people, right? They just change flags and costumes and signs. And these people are back, and now they're blocking roads again. I really think if Trump does an executive order that allows people who block highways to be run over, I think those would put a stop to that right away. I'm please, Trump, get on that executive order to allow people to run over people on the highway, interest of national security. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. And of course, we're talking about these odd plane crashes. Now, look, weeks ago, I came up with a theory, well, not a theory, a phrase, and I call it conspiracy hypothesis, because no longer are they conspiracy theories. They're conspiracy hypotheses, because they're really kind of crumb and true. And of course, we had that plane crash last week. I forget what night it was at this point, where that Black Hawk helicopter hit that American Airlines flight with those Olympic hopefuls heading back from Wichita. The plane crashed into the Potomac, no survivors. There was some controversy about releasing the name of the pilot of the helicopter. Eventually that came out. And there was some controversy about the fact that she was a Biden supporter. I don't know. I'm not suggesting she did it on purpose. I'm not suggesting it was intentional. I do know for a fact that helicopters are not supposed to fly above 200 feet when they're crossing the end of that runway there where helicopters typically cross. And it's actually not that common for helicopters to cross those runways. But they're supposed to stay at 200 feet. This helicopter went up to 300 feet at the exact worst time. I don't know if the American Airlines flight was lower than it should have been. I don't know. But flight radar indicated that the helicopter was, in fact, at 300 feet when the collision happened. Then, of course, a couple of days later, this happened over the weekend. An airplane that was transporting a patient who was receiving life-saving care, an adolescent patient. That plane got to about 1,600 feet. It was a Learjet. That plane was immediately after seen heading straight down towards the ground like a missile. Many people thought it was a missile. Some people still do think it's a missile. That plane exploded, massive damage. I think I forget how many lives lost. I have some video that I'm going to share with you here in a few minutes on that. So the title of the show today, but you wouldn't know because I forgot to put the title, was called Crash or Conspiracy. Because I've been reporting a lot on the crashes, but I haven't talked a lot about the potential conspiracy. What is going on? And it's part of the first part of this conversation I wanted to have today. I'm waiting on a couple of friends to join here. Actually, I might do things out of order tonight because it's a weird night, and I forgot to do a title for the show. And I'm, wearing my Bye Felicia shirt, and I'm dressed casual, so we're doing things different tonight. But I have some videos that I want to show you guys of these plane crashes, and I think I might do things a little bit differently. My good friend Savvy's backstage going, "Hey, I'm in the green room." It's not green. It's just backstage, but I don't know if her room's green. It is. So I might bring you on early, Savvy. I'll let you know. Let me show some videos super quick. So I'm sure you guys have seen this, right? These are the couple of different, I guess let's go to DC first. And this was the one over the weekend, the American Airlines flight, literally on its final approach, almost ready to get to the airport. And then this happened. Check it out. Now, there's no audio in that clip, but what you can see in that video is the plane, the American Airlines flight, coming in with the bright lights on directly on its approach. And you see that Black Hawk helicopter, that light in the bottom, cross underneath it. They hit pretty hard. There was no survivors. And look, it could be an air traffic control issue. It could be something else. And that's what I'm curious about. Now, of course, the second crash that I'm talking to you guys about, and let's see if I have the footage here. Let's look at this one here. Check it out. A lot of people said it looked like a missile. That was the airplane coming in. This was that medical flight on the Learjet coming in at a very, very high rate of speed. Now, basically, people thought it was a missile. There's other footage, and if I find these clips here, I'll show them to you here in a second. But essentially, well, here's one of the ring cameras. This one's. Again, coming in at a very high rate of speed, almost inverted. People said that some pilots suggested that it doesn't appear to be a stall based on all the safety measures involved in keeping that aircraft off the ground. Others thought that maybe he was trying to correct it, got disoriented, was trying to pull up, and because he was inverted, up was actually down, which is why the plane turned in the way it did. Directly towards the ground, but the plane was fully fueled. And as a result, there was tremendous fires. And I don't know. I'm going to get your take. And here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something a little bit different tonight. Usually I take a break, I pull in the panel, but I'm doing things different tonight because tonight is a show. So if my backstage people are ready to come back, I'm going to bring in my good friend Savvy. I want to get your opinions on this. Hey, welcome.
Hi.
It's a crazy night for me.
Ear things in today.
What's that?
I don't have my ear things in today.
Oh, that's okay. I hear you just fine. Blake, I see you backstage too. Turn your camera the other way. for all the people watching at home, I'm telling people backstage how to turn their camera around so when you see them,
And it
it
is a
doesn't look.
green room, David.
It's not a green room. Why do they call it a green room?
That's what they call it in the industry. I have no clue.
Well, that's all right. So you saw the videos when you were sitting in the quote unquote green room, right?
Yes.
What's your thought on this now? Because I've avoided the conspiracy theory or that conspiracy hypotheses. I'm gonna bring Blake into it. Blake, when you're ready, give me a thumbs up backstage, Blake. All right, cool. Blake's coming on now too. I want to get your takes. Welcome, Blake Reynolds. I want to get your
What's
takes,
up?
Abby. I've been avoiding not too much, man. We're just I'm having a
Is my camera okay?
You look
I can't
beautiful.
see my camera when I turn it like that, so I
No,
have
you
no
look
idea what I'm
beautiful.
looking at.
You look beautiful.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Lighting's good. Composition's good. You look real nice. So I've avoided the conspiracy theories. I've just been reporting the news, but it's worth having the conversation. What do you think's going on, Sav? I'm gonna go to you.
This one's a tough one because I like to do the 24-hour rule. I don't understand it. I really don't.
Yeah.
And that's really all I can say. That's to be fact is I don't know what in the world's going on. I know that there was another plane that had to make an emergency landing from Atlanta somewhere. But this was supposed to be a training exercise, but they were they were veteran flyers. I don't know. The audio that came out from the medical plane in Philly, that just threw me for a loop because you hear sort of what is being said on the voice recording.
Yeah.
And that bothered me because it's just I don't know. There's so many questions, and I am not an aviation expert. I just know that it's a loss of human life on our soil and veterans. I am curious as to why people are not talking about the attorneys that were on the flights with the figure skaters. There are
I didn't hear that. What attorneys?
Oh, I made a post about this.
News.
They were 4 DC attorneys, and they worked for a very popular law firm. They did a lot of pro bono work, but a lot of their work was for pro-life and pro-America cases. Yeah.
I didn't hear.
Yes.
I did see your post today with the 400,000 views. That was very, very good. Yeah. We're going to talk about that later too, because Beyonce, that's going to be an important topic too. Blake, what's your take? Do you have any? What's that?
So I got to get my cowboy hat then.
We'll do that at the break, so you can come back and put your cowboy hat on. But Blake with the dip as usual. What is your take? Do you think there were just accidents, or you think something else is up?
Are we talking about which accident?
Isn't that weird, right? Which accident? Which accident?
Yeah.
There was the plane that was on fire, and I have video of that. There was the crash in Philly, of course, but right now I'm talking about the DC crash. But let's talk about all of them together. Do you think something's up?
So I have a family member who is a chief warrant officer. And his job would be to, well, actually, I mean, he's a 74, so he's done a lot of different things, but one of the things would be investigating a crash like that. And when I called him, I was trying to get a scoop, right? And not necessarily a scoop like I want to go viral like a lot of people, they step in it before and then they find out. You kind of lose credibility that way. So I didn't say anything about it. I really just kind of wanted to wait till some facts come out, because being a conspiracy guy like I am, I used to, especially in my TikTok days, I used to get out in front of facts and just throw my opinion out there just to have people in my comment section light me up and being like, well, you were wrong again. And so I pretty much called him and I was like, I just asked some basic questions, and I was like, all right, if this is my conspiracy theory, how do you see this? How do you see this playing out? What is it? And he kept coming back to the same thing. He said, nothing y'all say, nothing you do, all these people on the internet that's out here looking dumb. They said, none of this matters until we get the black box out of the helicopter. They're like, there's a lot of variables. And I said, well, what about this? And what about this? I mean, how could you not see a plane? How could you not this? And he's like, literally nothing you say matters until the investigators investigate the black box. They're like, I said, how could they not been paying attention? He said, well, what about this variable? He said, what if somebody was just texting? He said, what? He said, people do it all the time. He said, what if they're up there with their iPad and they're just whatever? What if they're laughing at each other? What if they're telling jokes and they're not paying attention? He said, it could be simple as that. And he said, we will not know until we get the verbal recordings of what was going on in the thing. And he's like, so it doesn't matter. He said, there could be a lot of theories. Case in point, the lawyers just kind of adds another thing for us conspiracy theorists. It's like, dang, there was 4 lawyers and they were pro-life lawyers. Or it could just simply be an accident, like was said. I think there's enough there for us to talk about, though. The chick who hasn't flown in 2 years. She was an aide to Biden, and next thing you know, she's flying a plane. Why was she flying a plane? Why did it take so long for them to tell us her name? Why did they scrub her Facebook and all of her social media stuff beforehand? So I think that there's enough there for us to talk about, because whether the facts of it being an accident or some kind of conspiracy, that's still to be yet, discovered. But I think there are enough things involved in this whole situation that we could talk about. Why did President Trump come out and say the helicopter was flying too high for that area? And so that's another thing I told my brother. I said, why was the helicopter that high? Donald Trump even said that. And he goes, well, I don't know until I look at the restrictions. He said, you have to look at the restrictions. He said, they're different in all these areas. So he said, I don't know if it was flying too high until I find out what the regulations were to be flying in that area. I don't think Trump would have come out and said anything that put him in hot water or a situation. But I think, like she was talking about earlier, I think there's enough for us to go off of and to talk about, especially if you attach it to DEI. I think if you look at some of that, I think there's something there. The fact that she was in the Biden administration. Here's the sucky part, because I feel like we're always being set up. We're always being set up because we jump out and we start talking about things like this. And then it's almost like there's no there. And if Trump abandons this situation after a few facts come out, different things, obviously he's rolling on, he's got to run a country. And there seems to be no conspiracy. It's like people like us just left out there being like, all right, is Donald Trump now a part of this cover up?
But do you remember how long it took us to get the drone information? So it's refreshing. Hey, Blake, I got good news. So backstage, I'm all screwy today. We're not doing like breaks and panel music. I'm just bringing people in as they show up. And right now, Heather's back here. Oh. See, I told you your phone was flipped and it was going to do that.
Sorry.
Allie, you're back there too. Allie, give me a thumbs up backstage if you're ready to come up. All right.
I don't see nobody, dude.
Well, everybody's here. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna finish talking about this airplane stuff. We'll take a break and then we'll talk about this other stuff. I'm all messed tonight, guys. Just so you know, I'm in rare form. I'm wearing a t-shirt and put a coat over it. I'm drinking tequila now because.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not.
Tequila.
I'm real. Oh, it's great tequila. It's in a it was aged in bourbon barrels, so it tastes like bourbon. It's fantastic. And
where's my shot? What I mean, are you gonna share?
I can't even see Allie. Is she in here with us?
Yes.
Yeah, she's right there.
She must be below the thing. When you
do you need to turn your phone, Blake? You go ahead.
Not if it's going to mess everything up.
Listen, we're just doing it like this today. We're just having fun today.
Just let me see what it does. Let me see. Oh, I see everybody now.
All right, good. All right.
Hey, David, here, let me say this about I think my favorite conspiracy involving the plane situation would be the fact that one left Kansas, the other one crashed in Philly, and then you have the Super Bowl and all the things. So it is kind of a weird coincidence, but I don't want to.
Oh my gosh!
I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth.
Wait, I don't know what that. Wait, what?
Whoa, what? Wait a minute. You put that together?
Yeah. What? So the plane that was flying in from Kansas City. And then the plane that crashed in Philly, and they're almost saying like this is a Super Bowl, it's a ritual.
Well, wait, hold on.
No,
hold on. Wait, no, the plane came in from Wichita, not Kansas City.
Same thing.
Debunked. All right, Heather, you were an aircraft mechanic in the military, so
yes.
We can all speculate all we want. What do you think happened? Do we have a conspiracy?
We don't, because when it comes to our military and our men and women that are serving, I don't mess around with conspiracy theories, period. I have too much respect for the men and women that were either training or flying to sit here and say, well, maybe it was. No, I have too much respect, end of story, to even entertain a conspiracy theory. Those are my brothers and sisters in arms. It was their families that were getting knocks on the door, that their children, their spouses were killed. So I don't do the conspiracy theories when it comes to them, because I just, until actual information comes out from our government, out of the words of our Secretary of Defense, I won't buy into any of it. I can't.
Fair enough. What about Philly, though?
Well,
Yeah, what about Philly though?
Well, here's the thing with aviation
And you're not even from Philly,
as a
Blake.
whole. What I
Do
will
what?
say is we have had huge red flags that have been pinging for the last 4 years of what is happening within our aviation community. We have doors flying off. We have nuts and bolts that aren't secured. We have checklists. An aircraft does not leave a flight line without multiple checklists, multiple eyes, and multiple personnel looking at what they're supposed to be checking for safety wise. Some of this is routine. So many times working in the military, a common theme was that the most routine things can get you killed because it becomes so monotonous. Okay, I got to check this line off. I got to do this. And when you are bringing people that aren't the best of the best in those career fields to fill a manning slot on an aircraft that can't pull over on the side of the road when stuff hits the fan, this is where you get into these issues. This is where you get into a lot of these the American public doesn't like simple. They don't like to hear it's as simple as somebody overlooked that bolt. But when it comes to aircraft, something that simple can absolutely do that. I think it was in Indonesia, it was in an Asian country. Within the last month, an airplane came back down into the airport after taking off because a duck flew into the engine. When it landed, it exploded. These are very small, what seems like minute things, and I know everybody wants it to be a conspiracy, but these are very complex pieces of equipment. An airplane, it traverses oceans. It flies for up to 20 plus hours without having to stop or get refueled in air. There are so many things that can be overlooked
And
that can lead to
45,000 flights a day. Like something's going to go wrong.
And the fact, and that's why they say you're more likely to get into a crash going to the airport than you are actually on an aircraft. For the most part, flying is very, very safe. So, I have a hard time playing into the conspiracies, and not playing into them because I don't want to say that any of these agencies are perfect, but the complexity of flight, the complexities of navigating which plane goes where, different runways, different times, different elevations. There's so many different cosms at work, millions throughout the day. So I am going to leave it to the experts, and I'm going to hope that the people like Donald Trump has put in place are going to be transparent with us and are going to, even if it makes them look bad, the American people still need to know the truth.
I would rather you tell me the truth than lie to me any day.
100%.
So
but
I have
I think
theory,
so.
but
We're used to the 4 years of Biden, and I think everybody automatically was like, hey, what's happening here? What's happening here? There's something happening here. The difference is I do believe that we do have a transparent, so especially if Trump is going to come out from the get go and say something like, "Oh, the helicopter shouldn't have been flying that high," and it's like, oh, now you're married to the transparency when it comes to this crash. The other administration, they didn't say nothing and they didn't care, and Donald Trump has said it over and over because he keeps getting asked, "Do you think what you said is going to mess this up at all?" And it's like, "No." "Are you going to visit this site?" He's like, "What do you want me to visit the water?" And I think what Donald Trump has positioned himself to be
that was a great comment, by the way.
straightforward and true about it. Where it used to take 3 years for an investigation, he said it a few times throughout this stuff. Is like, aren't you tired of waiting 3 years to figure out what happened here and what happened here? When I figure it out, you'll figure it out. And so I think
We're hanging. Oh man, he was gonna say something really big.
The one thing that I did want to say, new information has just come out, by the way, that there's conflicting information on the elevation of the helicopter. The air traffic controller had the helicopter at 200 feet elevation. That has just come out, and it is conflicting with potentially where the helicopter was saying its elevation was at. But according to the air traffic control information, the helicopter was within the regulations of where they were supposed to be at.
Yeah, you froze there, Blake. Blake, I want to throw it to Allie real quick, to get your take. And I think I figured it all out. And wait, what are you drinking over there? What are we drinking?
Everybody's freezing, by the way.
You're freezing.
I'm still freezing. I had a cough attack right before I came on.
I was there for. Good Lord. See what I'm talking about tonight.
David and the ladies.
Talk about aircraft mechanics. I mean, the show. We need aircraft mechanics to fix the show. I forgot to put titles. Blake's freezing, popping in and out. Now Heather's gone. All right, that's it. I quit. I quit. That's it.
Peace out.
All right. Well, look, I want to go to you. I need a break. Allie, I'm going to go to you for your take on it, and then I'm going to give you my take because I think I figured it all out.
You know, I don't know. I just want the truth to come out. I don't care about the conspiracy theories. I don't care about the speculations. I just want the actual information to come out. That's it. That's all I care about. I mean, we've been covering it. And then what was really weird was that the crash in Philly, it seemed like there was more time spent on that issue, on that crash, than it was on the one in DC. And we drove for 14 hours, and I'm not joking, literally for 14 hours. That's all we heard on Fox. And we're like, why are they interviewing these military aviation experts about what happened in Philly? And it wasn't a military aircraft. It was an Airbus, like a medical bus, right? Like what? Why?
A Learjet,
right. But they weren't asking them really in-depth questions about the military helicopter that crashed into the airline. Like it was so frustrating to listen to for 14 hours. Just like they need to cover.
There was a Navy ambulance on the scene.
Because I can't.
Yeah.
Did you see the ambulance that was on the scene that had Navy written on the side of it?
Where?
In which?
In Philly?
The Philly one.
No.
That's what I'm saying. There's all kinds of reason why conspiracy theorists do their thing. And like, so that was one of them. And everybody's like, all right, where's all the airplane stuff? Because they were showing the next day where everything was kind of lit up. And they're like, all right, where's all the debris from the helicopter or the airplane?
Yeah.
Did they clean it all up that night so people couldn't see it in the day? And then there was pictures snapped of an ambulance that had Navy written on the back of it. It was real small, but it was on the back. And I'm like, good Lord, if this is not a conspiracy, why do so many things like that take place? So like you said, they're interviewing, and maybe the reason they're doing that is because honestly, nobody wants to hear interviews from people like me that have no idea about aviation. I'd rather hear an interview with a military expert than just some random person thinking they know something about planes. So I get that.
We heard from Heather, and Heather says that there's that we just need to chill out. And I agree, because now I want to give you my theory real quick, and then I'm going to play my commercials so I can make my sponsors happy, and then I want to talk about Beyonce.
Oh, Lord.
Here's the deal, and Blake's going to love that segment. He's from Kentucky. So here's the deal.
I love Beyonce.
I think there's a combination of things going on. I think, Heather, you're 100% right. I don't really think it's conspiracies. I think we spent the last 4 years being lied to. And I think it's just given a lot of people the opportunity to kind of fill in the blanks with whatever they want. The drones being a perfect example that we now know were FAA drones that we all pretty much knew they were government drones the whole time. And they just wouldn't tell us for whatever reason. So, but I think what we're seeing now is a perfect storm of incompetent government. And unfortunately, it's just bad timing. Because two things are occurring. And I had this conversation with the whole reason why I wanted to do this segment was to give people this theory. So here's the issue. You have a bunch of people who were fired from the FAA because they wouldn't take a COVID vaccine, right? That happened over the last 4 years. You have a lot of people in the military who were fired because they wouldn't take a COVID vaccine. That happened in the last 4 years.
8,000 of them.
You had good
correct.
mechanics that were fired out of the military because they wouldn't take a COVID vaccine. You had good mechanics that were fired out of the airlines because they wouldn't take a COVID vaccine. And then you had DEI hiring initiatives that wouldn't put the most qualified people even in the military. And so we ended up with a perfect storm of the wrong people in the wrong places. And then something
inevitable.
happened. Well, no, but here's the inevitable part. All of that was set to explode, right? And it's not, by the way, it's not over. There's incompetence throughout our government right now, and it just hasn't, we've just been lucky, and nobody's tripped over it yet, right? But what you're starting to see in these aviation incidents is the long-term effect of bad COVID policies, bad hiring practices, and the perfect storm, right? And of course, once a plane crashes, everything else becomes a conspiracy. A hobby aircraft crashes in California, and all of a sudden people think that's part of the conspiracy. A United Airlines flight catches on fire in Houston, and that's part of the conspiracy. If you've ever flown United or American, you'll know. I'm surprised their planes will catch on fire more and doors actually stay on. I think I was in a 1950s American airline flight last time I flew. Anyway, but here's the thing. Something happened, though. You got to remember what happened on the first day when Donald Trump was sworn in. He signed an executive order. And that executive order said...
Like
hey,
200 of them. Which one?
Well, right. But the most important one is, and this is the one you got to pay attention to, hey, federal government, things are changing. Some of you are going to be fired. Some of you are going to have to go to work every single day. He said, federal workforce, all three men, your lives are about to change. And then Elon Musk sent a letter titled Fork in the Road to 3 million federal employees and said, hey, you might want to think about quitting because your life's going to suck and you still might get fired. Now, let me tell you, there are a lot of people who don't like federal employees, and I get it. And there's a lot of advantages federal employees have taken on the American people for a long time. Yeah. That being said, federal employees are not just a bunch of Cheeto-eating people sitting around at their desk playing Fortnite.
They're people, important.
Aircraft, what do you call them? The aircraft controllers. What are they called again? The controller people.
Air traffic control.
Yeah, thank you.
You said it.
Tequila. Air traffic controllers are federal employees, right? FBI agents, the good ones, are federal employees. CIA operators, federal employees. Border Patrol agents, federal employees. There are a lot of people who work for the federal government who all got the same email who said, hey, your life's going to change dramatically. Think about quitting. Everybody got that, not just the lazy ones. And all of this was happening all at the same time. It wouldn't surprise. And this is, look, I love our president. I support him to death, right? I love Elon Musk. I support Elon. But you have to be responsible in the way you manage your workforce. And there are people in crucial positions, and maybe they're not even entitled to be there, right? Maybe, and I'm not saying these air traffic controllers are responsible in any of these instances. But imagine you're one of the crappy ones. And all of a sudden, you think you're going to lose your job. Where's your focus going to be when you have a helicopter flying at 300 feet and a plane landing at 300 feet? Port of order.
So if you're a crappy employee, most times, 9 times out of 10, you don't think you're the one getting cut.
Well, true.
I'm just saying.
But my point is probably people are distracted and it's not the right environment. So what I think we're seeing is a perfect storm of incompetence, meet with distraction, it's not a good time.
No, it makes
sense.
And
I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think it's something that we're going to have to work through. And I think immediately steps are going to have to be taken to ensure, and Trump already did this, by the way, to ensure that the people who are serving as air traffic controllers are doing what they're supposed to do and everything. But look, there's saboteurs in the government still that we have to deal with. And those people aren't going to just leave. They're there for a specific purpose. So there's all kinds of things that are really rigged here. And we're going to have to navigate this. Right.
That got us to where we are.
Right.
David,
listen,
also too, real quick, I want to throw this out there too, because the right is about, we'll just say MAGA is about to fall into a trap, because we have to realize that the media is so sophisticated and good at what they do. You have to be careful who is now driving a conspiracy theory narrative. And a lot of times, because now this is not about taking out Biden. Now this is about taking out Trump. And you have a lot of big accounts, whether it be on X, Instagram, TikTok, anywhere else, and they're saying things like, now Donald Trump has three crashes under his belt, or 3 things under his belt. So a lot of times that narrative is now driven by the left, and we're so used to being a part of that over the last 4 years. We have to be careful that we fall into that conspiracy theory trap, because guess what? There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. I love them. I live in them. But the first thing that I did when I heard these ones is I called a CW4. And I said, hey, you investigate plane crashes or you investigate helicopter crashes. You do all this stuff. I want to run all these conspiracy theories by you, and I need you to shut them down as if you're defending the military. And it was so easy for him to do it. And I was like, wow, never thought of that. And then I said another one, and he said, this is what we would do in this situation. And so I think, please, for the people that are on Team MAGA, quit running with every conspiracy theory. Give it more than 24 hours. Give it 24 days.
It's more than 24 hours. It's the Bongino rule. 48 to 72 hours is what we wait before we make any sort of commentary. And what big accounts? JoJo from Jer.
I don't even know that one.
Sorry, my can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Look, we're expecting that tonight. JoJo from?
Hello?
JoJo from
Jersey. We can hear you.
Jersey.
We can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah.
All right, I'm taking a break. Nobody go anywhere. I'm going to take a quick break, and we come back. We're talking about Beyonce.
Oh.
I'm Scotty Cahill, and I'm the founding partner at FinSec Life. FinSec Life is an independent agency that works with a multitude of carriers that brings the best pricing to each client we serve. With our 40 plus years of experience in the industry, allows us to deliver unique results to each individual client. We do not get paid until your policy is placed, until you have your insurance. So we will do the work. We will ensure that everything is taken care of, whether you get the best pricing, whether you get treated fairly by the underwriting team. If you have an existing policy and you want to know whether the policy is performing as it should, or if you have additional needs for insurance, please contact us at 321-800-3901, and we'll be happy to quote you on a new insurance. The phone number again is 321-800-3901, and the website is finseclife.com, financialsecurityforlife.com.
In today's fast-paced world, effective communication is the backbone of successful businesses. Are outdated systems and high costs slowing you down? Switch to Public Telephone Company for cutting-edge voice-over IP solutions. Enjoy seamless connectivity, unparalleled reliability, and significant cost savings. Tailor-made voice-over IP solutions designed for your business needs. Join countless businesses in transforming your communication with Public Telephone Company. Public Telephone Company. Revolutionize the way you connect.
I am so sick of this woke crap.
Let's watch TV for normal people.
A super influencer is someone that takes the cause that they fight for, whether it's social media, networking, partnerships, and just dominates that movement with it. Let's get into today's episode.
We've got to build a chicken coop today.
We have 4 beautiful children that we adopted.
Anytime you're out there with your kids, it's teaching them to be a productive member of society. Let's herd them like cattle, boys and girls. Come on. We take race out of it. We parent based off principles.
We're going to take everyone's phone so they can sit and actually talk to each other.
This is a kitchen fight for sure.
My name's Tito Ortiz.
Get some!
Everybody knows me from the fighting world.
Real.
But I'm also an avid fisherman.
Tito Ortiz got his sea monster. Hello!
Hey guys, it's Conservative Ant.
I'm Kendall in Kentucky.
I'm Blake Reynolds.
I'm the Patriot Barbie.
I'm Amber Nicole Ortiz.
Check out the first and only non-woke entertainment.
Only on We the Studios.
You have daughters cheerleading, then you have parents chopping off their breasts.
There's so much to do to save America.
All right, giddy up. We're back.
Love
We're going to
it.
finish that chicken coop, right, Blake?
Hey,
So,
Savvy, you look so cute.
oh, all right. So, listen, Savvy's hat is on because she went viral today. I would say viral. It's 500,000 views on a video viral.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, that's
So
viral.
Savvy goes viral today because she puts on a cowboy hat and starts talking about Beyonce. For those of you who need to be brought up to speed, and look, my clips got all screwed up tonight too. I had all these clips. I had that deer in the headlights clip of Beyonce, but I don't have that anymore. So anyway, Beyonce's shocked because she gets country, well, 2 actually awards, country song of the year and country album of the year. Beyonce, by the way, Shakira, I think she got Latin performer of the year, and I'll play her idiot comments when she accepted an award. Imagine if Taylor Swift got the Latin album of the year award if she spoofed like some Latin beats on the next Taylor Swift track. But that's okay because the Grammys, as I told a young person today that I was talking to, the Grammys isn't a music show, it's a culture show. And all it's about is showcasing leftist culture and celebrating leftist culture. Savvy, throwing it over to you. Tell me about Beyonce. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
No. I would
Up in the
make
club.
gesture. No. I would make the gesture I did on X on your show, but I don't think that would necessarily be appropriate.
Just blur it out. Go like this.
Okay.
There was a delay, and it just didn't matter.
Oh, no!
Anyway, just go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that is absolute garbage. Okay, so
Yeah.
my bestie right there in the square over here. We just got back from Nashville, hanging out with real country legends, like your John Riches of the world. That is real country. Lainey Wilson, that's real country. I even quote posted my own with Carrie Underwood when she's like, I can sing it at the inauguration. That is real country. Having, Destiny's Child, who's married to one of Diddy's, indictees. Okay.
Oh my gosh, right?
That ain't country. And
I mean, just because you were born in Houston and raised in Texas doesn't mean your country. In my opinion, and I know you didn't go to me, and I'm sorry for cutting you off, but she reminds me of an actual buckle bunny.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Wait a minute. What's a buckle bunny?
They're the ones.
Let me step in. Let me step in here and tell you what a buckle bunny is.
Yes, country boy from Kentucky. What is a buckle bunny?
Well, when I lived in Texas, I actually did.
Cough,
I rodeoed. I did rodeos when I lived in Texas, and I rode bareback horses. I didn't ride bulls. I rode bareback horses, but them buckle bunnies, them girls that showed up.
Calm down,
they
ladies.
like them. They like them men in a buckle. That's all. That's all there is. It's just like a girl that likes police officers. The badge bunnies. You got the buckle bunnies.
Yes.
It's the same thing.
Wait a minute. So Blake,
you got to have
Reynolds,
somebody to go. You got to have somebody to take back to your camper after you travel out of town and win a show. And there's probably a lot of them lined up. You just take them into the camper and you just do your thing.
I think Garth Brooks sang about that, right? It's bulls and blood.
Bulls and blood. It's a dust and mud. It's a roar of a Sunday crowd.
No, that was
yeah.
But Beyonce, just because she dyes her hair blonde and throws on a cowboy hat, I mean, that doesn't make you country. Absolutely.
Thankfully, nobody in the world accepted that award for her. Like, I think everybody is saying exactly what you're saying. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. And if you go to John Rich's page, he actually gives you a rundown on how the Grammys work. And it's much like, I'm going to pay you for this if you vote for my person.
Of course.
I mean, just like the SAG Awards, right? Because you're just going to vote for whomever. Same type of thing. It's a pay to.
You know what, Savvy? The Golden Globes and the Oscars should be called the SAG Awards because all those ladies that are accepting those.
I must be lost on this joke. Why am I not laughing?
Go ahead, Heather.
I got it.
Yeah, go ahead, Heather.
The one thing that I wanted to say was the attitude of entitlement.
Yeah.
When she was up there accepting her award, she had to throw in how many times she's been waiting. She has like 33 Grammys. Do you know Frank Sinatra has like 12? Okay, Beyonce, you're doing just fine. You're not oppressed. You're not missing out on anything. You have almost 36 Grammys. Pipe down about how long you had to wait. And then Noah, the leader, the what's it called? The MC of the Grammys. He then had to make the same comment. Well, she's been waiting a while for this. Shut up. She's not country. Like, I'm sorry that she wasn't voted the greatest of all time at every single award show, but she's done it over 36. Beyonce can sit
and then
this one out.
the bastard child of country music, Miley Cyrus, was like, I don't know who's going to win this award, but it better be Beyonce. Remember that?
Well, and I think it ended up being Kendrick Lamar, and it's just kind of like,
right?
How horrible is that for him? Right after he's going up to he did a full sweep. He won 5 last night.
Wow.
And right before he gets called up for a really great honor, Miley Cyrus has to throw out the DEI card of Beyonce.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Kendrick. Here you go. Like, shut up, all of them.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Now, Allie, can I point out that I'm gonna throw it to you?
For sitting at the inauguration Liberty Ball, I guess.
What's that?
I said Miley's just mad at her dad for whatever he did at the.
I saw that, by the way. I was there for that. That was interesting.
Maybe Daddy needs to go to rehab, huh?
Maybe it could be a family thing. There'd be good entertainment there. Allie, so two things I want to ask. First, you have to appreciate the irony of Hollywood, where a guy who wrote a song against, I guess, calling Drake like a pedophile, won an award over somebody who won an award who's married to somebody who's accused of being a pedophile. Can Hollywood write a better script than that? And then my second question is, who is Beyonce? Like who is she now? Is she a country artist, or is she just somebody biting country music in order to sell records because country sells more? What's going on?
I think she's trying to be a crossover artist. That happens a lot when you've kind of reached a plateau in your genre. You'll see a lot of musicians change genres to see if they can. It's like a challenge. It's like a personal challenge. They want to see if they can make it as a crossover artist. Not Miley. Taylor Swift did it.
Oh, Taylor Swift. Her new album's trash, by the way. She used to be.
Madonna's done it.
But I think
Madonna's done it all like Madonna has reinvented herself 800 million times. I mean, now she's injected herself with all kinds of
Speaking of the
things
SAG Awards.
Yeah, and gotten, all kinds of like surgery and stuff. But no, seriously, that's really what Beyonce is doing. It's she's reached a plateau in R&B and hip hop. And now she's trying something else, something new, which is why they go into music. There's different genres of music, which is why they go into film, which is why they go into, Broadway shows. They try to figure out different ways that they can elevate themselves.
Well, all right. Last thing I want to I'm not going to get to any other topics tonight because I'm already late. Because I was late. But now I got this Twitter space I'm supposed to do here at 9 o'clock, and they won't let me change the time. So I might just start that space and let them sit there and listen to me talk to you guys. I'm going to figure it out. But I wanted to talk about this moment here at the Grammys, too, unless people are sick of talking about the Grammys. I wanted to talk about the Mexican protests and what that was, but look, we all know who that is. It's the fake Antifa protesters. They just changed costumes and flags.
That's my most recent post because I called out a sheriff of Gwinnett County, Georgia, for this very thing. So enjoy. Go ahead.
I'll pull it up and I'll load it.
Are you going to play the one of them line dancing?
Yo.
Ricky Hart.
Ricky Hart Alley.
No.
Come on.
This is what I want to. I want to have this. This I feel like is a very important conversation. Graphic content warning. You wanna guess what me and Billy? You guys know who that is, yeah?
Who's that? Billie Eilish?
No. Her name is like something XCX. What the heck is her name? Something. I'll tell you her name. XCX. Her name is Charlie XCX. A clever play on obviously not SEX. And I have a teenage daughter and then a younger daughter, and she's gonna get mad that I'm even talking about this right now, to be honest with you. I'm so embarrassed. This is the garbage music that they're feeding our children. And that performance was last night at the Grammys, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that or not.
I've stopped watching the Grammys.
Yeah.
Like
That was on the
a
Grammys
long
last night.
time ago.
That was Charlie, her stupid little song. She was doing all kinds of things. Basically, all they're doing now is making strip club music and performing live OnlyFans content. And look, I'm not being an old fuddy-duddy or anything like that. Look, I was young. I get it. Like, whatever. But this isn't booty dancing. Like, what they've done is when we've talked about this on this show, and I'm gonna throw it to you ladies, and then I'll throw it over to you, Blake, because I know you guys have talked about this before. First, they came after the father in the family unit by making dads look like a bunch of alcoholic slobs who work middle-income jobs and didn't take care of their families while they came home and drank beer, even if they had fathers at all. Then the fathers disappeared completely, and then it was a show about mothers. And then the mothers started disappearing completely almost, and then you had dysfunctional families. Then they went and destroyed the idea of gender, and then they went and started destroying the innocence of females through the gender movement, and then the innocence of our female children. Is this just entertainment or something else going on? I know, Heather, this is right up something I know you're going to want to talk about. What are they doing to America through this quote unquote entertainment?
I mean, they're rotting our youth's brain, but it's a little bit of that am I old moment, because I can remember being in high school. Marilyn Manson was the controversial artist at the time. There was a bunch of other kind of, rap needed to have the explicit lyrics thing on the CD, and we couldn't buy them unless our parents were there. This isn't anything new. I just think that generationally, we all get to an age where we look at this and we're like, oh, you kind of look at it through a different lens. But I was hearing some commentary about the Grammys, and it's just kind of funny because women are always talking about women empowerment and don't objectify us. But if you look at the trends at all of these award shows, whether it be the Grammys, whether it be the SAG, whether it be, Oscars, the style of the females hasn't really, or the style of the males is kind of the same thing. They show up in their tux. Maybe they have a bow tie, maybe they don't, but it's some sort of play on upscale attire for these events for men. It's the women who continuously, year after year, get more provocative, more how can I push the envelope, more how can I look this to create controversy. It's always the women that are creating these scenarios, typically, that is garnering not good attention, and then flipping around with Me Too and saying, but don't objectify me. It's like you can't have it both ways.
Allie.
I want to tell y'all a little story.
Ooh,
it'll be quick.
Stories.
So I was at the inauguration celebrations up in DC. I walked out of a gala and I was hit on by two men standing by my car. The driver that I anyway. And he's like, did you eat? I was like, hi, good evening. And he was like, do you want a drink? And I was like, how about you open my car door?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe be a gentleman first. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And opened the door and he was like, you look very beautiful. I apologize for my comment. I said, thank you. And I closed the door and I did a video and I hadn't posted it because I was like, I don't really know how to approach this topic. But since we're talking about it, I'm going to approach it. So I got on the camera and I did this little video. I said, ladies, I don't mind being hit on. I think I'm flattered. Thank you very much. Right? I know what I look like. I appreciate that. Thank you. However, I need our younger generations and our women in general to raise the bar. Stop giving the cookies out for any little attention that you're going to get from them, whether it's a drink, whether it's dinner, whether it's access, whether it's whatever it is. Stop it, because it's difficult for women that actually have standards to find men that are able to reach those standards. A high value woman is not going to take, hey, let me buy you a drink. You look hot. I'm not taking that. That's offensive to me. And when you approach me that way, I'm going to approach you with a little bit of an attitude. How about you be a gentleman first? And then maybe you can ask for my name, right? Or maybe ask for my name first before you compliment my dress. Like, it's just there needs to be a culture shift, and women are the ones that lead that culture. Do you know what I'm saying? And if we do not raise that bar and we stop lowering our standards for any old Tom, Dick, and Harry who decides to wink at us because we look cute, we're never going to get there.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Amen.
Savvy. Yeah, throw it over to you, Savvy.
Listen,
Sorry.
y'all, again, with Heather and I just being in Nashville, I think you can attest, I didn't have a single person come up to me, but then again, I have a don't with me vibe. Like, just don't come up.
We
and
also
talk.
Don't have a don't.
But we
with me
also had
vibe.
hats that
You're
kept us
beautiful. Come on.
But for instance, my daughter, I will not allow her to watch the Grammys. She's 13 years old. Nope. And I'm still the mom. And I still look at every single thing that she wears when she leaves the house. I will, I think a lot of that is, I mean, I will still protect her and her innocence as long as I possibly can. And I think that's an important thing for mothers right now. A lot of people stopped doing that. Right. And even with, mothers of young boys, teaching them the same. I mean, my daughter knows that she's not going to go on her first car date until she's 17, and she better not be kissing a boy because I will lose my mind. And, and then we go back to faith every single time about how important her faith is and how important she is to Christ and for her husband to be. And you have to set that standard at a young age. And she had no idea the Grammys was on. She did not care. She was too busy watching Phantom of the Opera, right?
Oh.
So it's true. But it's all in the way you parent and what you allow your child to see moving forward.
It's the example that you set too as well, Savvy. Like you as the parent have to set that example and provide other examples for them in order for them to know how to behave and what that standard looks like. I mean, that's why dads are so important.
She literally wears hoodies almost every day. I'm like, I wonder where you get that from. It's fine.
But on the same token, it's also important for the fathers of the home to be that father figure. Blake and David, y'all have girls. You guys have such a tremendous responsibility that I know you guys both understand you have to set the example for what those girls should expect in their partner later on in life. And I always think that the men's role in a child's life is so downplayed to an extent. But it's really so imperative for the men in these women's lives to step up and be that example so that they know they've seen it. They see how you treat your wives. They see how you treat them. They see all the different things that you open the door for your wife, that when she's not feeling good, maybe you pick up the slack or whatever the case may be in everybody's household. But the male influence is massive too, for the both of you guys. I'm a mom of a boy. So it is much different what I have to worry about versus what parents of girls will have to worry about. And both your girls are lucky that they have, prime examples. And Allie and Savvy, you guys have daughters and great father figures and all the men in their life that are leading them down, that same path. So I do always like to hone in on the fact that how important father figures are too.
That's right.
Dads, I mean,
where's my trophy? I got
your
trophies.
girls.
I got trophies.
Your girls will marry an image of you. Yeah. Like your daughters will live the life that you give your wife.
I hope they marry somebody taller.
Of course.
I do.
All Blake, what is your response? What do you think?
Well, there's so much to unpack here. I don't disagree with anything, obviously. I'll start off by saying the Grammy situation. I think not very many people pay attention to that stuff anymore. I say that my kids don't watch the Grammys. My kids don't have a clue. They didn't see Kanye's chick naked. They didn't see all that stuff. I'll say I feel like they used the Grammys. They used the Grammys this last time, especially probably to stick it to the white Trump supporter. It seemed. And that's usually what they use the Grammys for, is to make political
Exactly.
statements, because nobody listens to them any other time. And then it just seems like this is the one chance they finally get the floor, because other than that, is Selena Gomez crying, nobody cares. She deletes a video because you look stupid. So I think they use the Grammys to grandstand everybody. But to go to the other part where, yeah, in Nashville, you're in the South, it's a little bit more, people actually respect women down here. I think I always tell my girls that the way you dress will ultimately be the way you are addressed. So I think if you're going to step out in public, it could be something. I do construction, and the way I dress is important when I'm out in the field and I'm meeting the head of the water department, or I'm meeting somebody um, who from the health department who I got to talk to, putting a septic tank in with. I cannot be out there with holy jeans sagging, with Jordans on, with gold teeth and my hat like this. I would never be respected by those people. So the I have to dress to impress in a sense, because I want to be addressed as, when I'm out there at work, I want them to be like, yes sir, no sir, the same way that I am to them. And I think the way that you dress has a lot to do with that. So I don't let my kids wear sweatpants outside of our house. But then when it comes to being revealing, like my kids were on a trampoline all day. They're not inside on a computer. They're out there doing flips. And I'll say to what you were saying, Allie, like, I spend so much money on my kids, on my daughters, that you cannot be broke, you cannot be a bum, and you cannot be some halfway man if you think you're going to be dating my daughters. I've set that bar and that standard so high. Like, your outfit for cheer alone costs almost $1,000. Go sit down,
Thank
okay? Go
you.
do the dishes. Like, and so, but there's, in order for somebody to compete with me, not only they're gonna have to be good looking, they're gonna have to be funny. They're gonna have to have a little
Ew.
money, and they're gonna have to be willing to spend it on them. And so, like, I
We need
do
to do a
agree with
whole show
you.
on this.
I do agree with you, Heather. I think that men
We are
do
doing
get
a whole
to
show.
to set that kind of a standard, because I feel sorry for any of them's first attempt at a boyfriend. It's gonna be awkward for everybody. Like, which is gonna be fine for me, but it's gonna be awkward for them and their boyfriend, because I promise you, I'm gonna rag him from head to toe the second he walks in. Like, boy, what are you taking my
You gotta
daughter? Dairy
record it.
Queen? Like,
Like Bad
like,
Boy, like the movie Bad
Yes,
Boys.
like Bad
yeah,
Boys. You
it,
gotta
it,
record
it's
it.
going. I'm telling you, it's going to be like that so much. But I think
If your
with
daughter
the
starts dating a guy, maybe he can help you finish that chicken coop finally.
yeah, no, my kids aren't dating. They don't have boyfriends. They don't do all that. Like, my oldest is 15 now. She don't even have a phone. Like, you ain't talking to nobody. What are you doing? Like, you got life to live. You gotta be a kid. Like, we took them out of public school and put them in homeschool for that simple reason right there. It's like, hey, uh you're operating at an immature level, and I don't need you rolling into high school like this. I'm going to pull you out, and I'm going to need to see you mature in some areas before I stick you back in a box full of animals. And I may not even do that. But you're talking, like, if my kid's hair looks goofy, I'm making fun of them. If their hair looks pretty, I'm telling them their hair looks pretty. Like, I'm giving them every bit of the high school experience right here in homeschool. Like, why are you wearing
Good
sweatpants? And
job,
then
Steph.
I say something. But I agree. I think it is on the dads. But back to, I know what I was going to say, Heather, to what you said. Like, we were actually listening to some old school music that we listened to, and I was like, it's crazy. I knew all the words to these Insane Clown Posse songs, all the Marilyn Manson songs, all the Limp Bizkit stuff. Like, you name it. I mean,
No
I was
business
in.
singing those lyrics in junior
Yeah.
high.
Absolutely
None.
Yeah,
not. Absolutely
I
not.
was in fourth grade talking about, I wanna stand with you on a mountain and bathe with you in the sea. Like, I
Or
was
the
singing that
Peaches and
stuff.
Cream song
Wait,
that
Oh,
I
what?
heard
you're
on my
getting
way to church
dirty.
camp, and I
I
had to
don't
have
So
even
somebody
know.
explain to me what a poke coming through means.
yeah,
Like,
see, so we were ushering it up too. It's 7 o'clock on a dot. I'm in my drop top.
or Pony
So,
by Genuine.
dude,
Wait, how
what
did
what
that one
about?
go? How did that one go?
Remember
The
that one? I
pony
go,
song.
I
Jump
wanna.
on it,
My,
ride it,
my
ride it like a
pony.
pony.
Which one
My
Hey,
was that?
y'all ain't
Ride
even.
that pony,
Wait,
pony.
So,
something.
Y'all ain't even mentioned. Y'all ain't even mentioned my neck,
did you even know
my
that
back.
do you know what the
Oh, no,
electric
don't
slide
say
is
that.
about? Wait,
What?
let's go here. Do you know what the electric slide is about?
No.
What?
Come
It's
on.
for white people to dance to instructions.
The
at
electric
weddings.
slide.
No.
Yeah. So white people can dance
Is
at
that
weddings
a
to instructions.
It's yes.
What?
Yes.
I don't know what that is.
A
I'm
vibrator.
gonna teach you the electric slide.
No.
No.
You're
Oh.
Look
Hey, and
it
speaking
up.
of
It's
hey,
electric.
speaking of
Oogie
country
boogie
music,
Every
boogie.
wedding the cookout.
hey, speaking of country
Well,
music, do you remember when Alan Jackson said,
now we're
"I'm gonna settle for a burger and a grape snow cone"? Dropped her off
Yeah.
early, but I didn't go home. You know what? You know what? You
Hoochie
know what?
coochie?
Yeah, you know what that means, right? You know what a grape
No,
snow
I don't
cone is?
know.
Well, he's
I
getting
thought
that
it was a grape
sloppy.
snow cone.
He's getting that. He's getting that top, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Yes.
That is not what that is
really?
about.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
No,
is. I
Well,
settled
now
for a burger and a
it
grape
isn't.
snow
He
cone.
is from
Yeah,
Podunk,
Okay.
Georgia. No, he is literally
100%.
Coco.
Look, I
All right.
encourage you to Google it. It's 100% what
All
he
right.
means.
I
But that
encourage
was
you not to Google it. I encourage you not to
listen.
Google it.
We're all
But
adults in the
there was
room.
stuff, dude. George Strait was one of the most romantic
Don't you
singer
dare.
songwriters there was. I love George Strait.
Don't go there.
But here's the thing: adults are
What is
going
my
to sing
achy
and
breaky
talk
heart
about
about?
adult things. Do what?
What is my achy breaky heart about?
I don't know, but that dog will bite your leg. You know what I'm talking about? Listen, adults sing and talk about some raunchy things. I don't think kids should be listening to
Right.
music like that. And I think that's the point. My kids know songs, and
Yes.
I'm like, how in the world do you even know that song? And
They
then
don't even
my
know what
wife
it
will be like,
means.
yeah, they'll be like, why are you listening to that? Turn that mess off. And I look at Emily and I'm like, do you remember back when we were listening to like My Neck? And I was like, we learn songs that our parents never
Mm-hmm.
approved of. I think you got to rely on your parenting skills and the fact that your kids love, trust, and respect you, and that they'll come back to that. I'm not raising my kids to be trashy. I'm not raising my kids to be, my kids are not out in the street protesting with flags and stuff. So I think at the end of the day, the Grammys, Hollywood can throw whatever they want at our children. I think everybody on this panel right here knows good and well that ultimately this has little impact on our kids' culture, that we have the majority of impact. We're the ones that decide. They respect y'all. I don't care what Hollywood comes up with next. Like I didn't grow up to be, so Home Improvement, like all the shows that we grew up watching, like you said, where both parents were in the home, and then you could see it gradually progressing to it's like now the kids are telling their dad they're stupid to go sit down. Like that never happened in my home, and it's not happening in my kids' home. So that Hollywood effect doesn't affect everybody. It only affects a small portion. If you love your kids, you nurture your kids, and you're raising your kids to be normal functioning human beings in this world that we all are forced to live in. I think your kids will probably turn out fine. Like I said, my kids didn't see Kanye's girl booty naked, so like I'm good with it. And I feel sorry for the parents that sit there and they force their kids to watch it because they're still living vicariously through celebrities and different things. And they'll sit there, they'll grab their popcorn, they'll watch the Grammys. This is good. They love the gossip, they love all the stuff. But I was also going to say the thing that probably pissed me off, and I know I'm talking a lot and I'm going to be done. The thing that probably pissed me off the most about Beyonce winning this Grammy was the fact that Lainey Wilson's just sitting there clapping for her, like, yay, girl. And I'm sitting here thinking, ain't nobody going to stand up and be like, I deserve this more than you.
Right.
Like the people clapping in that room is what made me the maddest, because like this was stolen from all of y'all. Jelly Roll probably don't deserve it, but should have got it over Beyonce. I mean, that's the only song they play on country music radio now.
All right, listen, I got a space. It's 15 minutes overdue, and Lou's running it, as Jim Bob said. George Santos is in there right now talking. Oh, my Kevin Smith is in there. Listen.
Leave us for George Santos.
No, you guys are joining us. If you guys want to continue this conversation, I liked this random let's all hang out and talk show. I'm going to do this more often.
It's usually the best shows when we do
I
them this
agree.
way.
I'm having a lot of fun.
You should
All right,
do
so
like
listen.
a separate show from your Monday one and do it like on a Wednesday, like once or twice a month.
We talked about Sunday night.
Yeah, we're going to talk offline. I got lots of plans. I got lots of plans. Cheers to that. Oh, by the way, I got a SOCOM. Is this SOCOM? Let's see.
I have no idea.
SOCOM.
This tiny screen.
SOCOM coin. Who's buying?
I don't even know what that means.
Oh snap! I gotta leave.
Okay, time out. I have one.
Who's buying?
No. I have a coin, and I can see it right down there.
Who's buying?
Wait, what's a coin? For
You're
what?
buying. Go ahead. You can take us out on this, Heather, because I gotta get
Why
to
don't
this
you
space.
fill us in on this coin?
So in the
Up.
military, you get coined. You can get coined by a commander. You can get coined by just about anybody. And if you get coined, it's a whole thing. You get the coin, whatever. And if somebody coin checks you, typical way to do it, David, is to take it and start tapping. Whoever doesn't have a coin to tap has to buy the round at the bar.
I have one, so
Savvy's buying. Blake is buying.
it's Savvy and Blake. Blake, are you buying? Are you buying drinks?
Hey,
Blake's buying.
Hey, one of y'all's favorite Florida congressmen coined me at the GOP dinner. Do you remember that?
I do. Do you have it
Which
on
All
you?
because of my neck tattoo. He's like, I really like your neck tattoo. Here's a coin.
Oh,
Oh, okay, but here's the twist, David. If you initiate the coin check
and everybody has one, I gotta buy it.
You gotta buy the drink.
You gotta buy.
You buy.
Go.
You're buying.
This is what I'm tapping with. This is what I'm tapping with
No,
right
that
here.
doesn't
I don't
count.
have a coin.
Produce the coin. All right, guys. Listen, I'm going to my space.
I'm
Please,
in
guys,
a
come
studio.
join me.
You carry coins around?
No, I keep them on my desk. I got two of them.
Love you, Allie.
Hey, can we listen to a Beyonce song on the way out?
No.
Yeah. All right,
Like
Blake. I'm gonna.
He's wrapping up.
Allie, good luck
I don't.
Good
I
luck
don't.
tomorrow.
I personally don't even know a Beyonce song.
Allie, good luck tomorrow in DC. Proud of you.
Good luck, Allie.
Proud of you. What do you? Proud of you for something.
She'll have to share. All right, I'm going over to my Twitter space now, and
Boo.
wait, I don't even know where to end the.
You can tell me. You can tell me.
All right,
Just tell me.
I'm going over to my Twitter space now. Savvy, Heather, Allie, Blake. Thank you all for joining.
Savvy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Blake. Follow me on X.
We're gonna do this again. Blake, as I end the stream, you have to sing a Beyonce song of your choice while we're on the way out. It takes like 5 seconds. You ready? Go.
This ain't Texas.
Keep going. Oh, that's the one
This
you
ain't
sing?
Hold'em.
Oh,